What did you want to? I want the same thing for my son. I don't want him to ever have to work. Why does that bother a mother so much? And why is that always being thrown in my face like that's such a bad thing? That's not a bad thing.
And I told them, listen, no more handouts. No more handouts. It can't be, because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money.
They teach them about contracts, and they teach them about saving, they teach them about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He got baby mamas all over the way. What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke?
Floyd Mayweather's daughter, Mayweather, has sparked widespread discussion after hinting that the legendary boxer may have used a significant part of his fortune on an extravagant way of living. She also suggested that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has recently pulled back from providing financial support to his children, instead urging them to stand on their own and make their own income.
Pot up in the window to throw. I got tongue twisted. Don't have a pot in the window to throw it out of. Bitch, don't even got a fucking car to drive. I'ma start popping it like that on y'all, cause I just be like, I be real laid back, I be cool, but
In a recent podcast interview, Floyd Mayweather Jr. shared that has reached a point where he won't keep financially supporting his children. He explained that they now need to build their own paths, whether that means launching their own ventures or finding employment, rather than depending on him for money.
Buy them houses, buy them cars, told them, listen, from here on out, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business, and I'll put the money up to help you start a business, but I need you guys to take what I've already started and triple and double that, and then I need my grandchildren to come behind you guys.
Former MMA fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen has further intensified the discussion, suggesting that Floyd Mayweather Jr. may not have earned as much as widely believed. He noted that financial figures in boxing are often exaggerated, and added that Floyd continued living at an ultra-luxurious level, which could help explain the speculation surrounding possible money issues.
Here in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You have never heard Cox. You have never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke.
Chael Sonnen also raised doubts about the legitimacy of those massive earnings, pointing out that there isn't much publicly available proof to support the huge payouts Floyd Mayweather Jr. has said he received during his career.
And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has had countless big money claims, even talk of reaching $1 billion. But who actually issued those payments? Former ESPN writer Jason Whitlock also weighed in, suggesting that Mayweather poured a significant amount of money into sustaining his public image and remaining in the spotlight. According to Whitlock, that level of constant spending could have led to financial strain, potentially pushing Floyd to return to boxing in order to manage expenses and meet financial demands.
An example of the stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all. And now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because He's in a lot of debt. And this is what I was trying to make the point to Cam Newton about. This whole, I'm doing it for the culture. What is doing it for the culture?
On the flip side, WAC 100, a close associate and business partner of Floyd Mayweather Jr., has firmly dismissed claims that the boxing legend is facing financial trouble. He emphasized that such rumors have been around for years without credible evidence, adding that Floyd still holds ownership of several upscale properties and maintains a lavish standard of living.
Going broke, because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's just broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there, because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's bored.
Mainly 50.
Maybe he's bored. The number 50 don't mean nothing, because he's still performing.
Amid all the ongoing speculation, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has resumed training, hinting at yet another return. Reports suggest he's gearing up for exhibition fights and could even be considering a professional matchup with Manny Pacquiao, making it clear he isn't ready to walk away from the sport anytime soon.
Again. Again. Right roll. 3, 2. Up the roll.
Hook right here. Right here, hook. Again. Hook right here.
Andre Ward pointed out that regardless of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s flashy image, his commitment to training has remained unwavering. Ward stressed that Mayweather has always been highly disciplined, consistently staying in top shape and putting in the necessary work, even during periods away from active competition.
See the glitz, even though you see Floyd in the streets ripping and running, one thing he never neglected was the gym. He always stayed true to his roots and he perfected his craft, and that's why he became who he became. I personally wish that Floyd Mayweather at 49 years old would be somewhere kicking up his feet, living off his investments, and frankly,
as discussions about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s finances continued circulating online, Iona Mayweather suggested on social media that she may begin working. Although she framed the idea as simple boredom, some online observers speculated that it could be connected to a possible decrease in financial backing from her father.
After being courted by her dad, an NBA YoungBoy got on the internet and said something very interesting. She said, what did she say, Jasmine? Lately, you gotta expand it for me. Thank you so much. Lately, I've been bored. So I was thinking about getting a job for fun, or maybe work like 2 or 3 days out of the week just to see what it's like. Why not? Ooh, the entitlement. The laziness. The fact that she couldn't read the room. You know, there's people out here looking for jobs. I'm bored, so I'm just gonna get a job today. I couldn't even believe she tweeted that. I just couldn't believe. I said, oh my God,
Some commentators have also raised concerns about whether Iona Mayweather has been properly exposed to the realities of financial responsibility. They argue that being raised in a wealthy environment doesn't necessarily develop money management skills on its own. Abilities like budgeting, saving, and smart investing are essential, and without them, even large fortunes can be lost over time. This idea is often discussed in a broader context, when many point out that wealth sometimes fails to carry over into the next generation due to gaps in financial education or sense of entitlement. In some families, the focus is so heavily placed on building assets that less attention is given to teaching children how to preserve and grow that wealth. Others believe it can simply lead to assumptions that financial stability will always be guaranteed.
These little girls don't know how to do nothing. And she's sitting on my I'm bored. And y'all can say, well, her daddy rich, but like, well, what if something happens to her father? Oh, we got trust funds. Okay, cool. He may have trust funds. But does she know how to budget money? Does she know how to make money? Does she know the value of money? That empire, that estate is going to be gone. And statistics show that 85% of second wealth generators from their parents go broke because they don't understand how to manage it, which means there's a few reasons. Either we spent too much time making it, we didn't have time to educate our kids on it, and so we just gave them everything. Or two, they just don't give a damn. They just entitled.
Many analysts argue that at this point in his life, Floyd Mayweather Jr. could comfortably live off the wealth and investments he has already built, rather than continuing to compete. They also suggest that, given his long experience in the sport, he would be well positioned to focus more heavily on promoting fighters and shaping boxing from behind the scenes at the same time. There are ongoing questions about why his promotional ventures have not fully dominated the industry, especially as some fighters have moved away from his promotional setup. Others believe the answer goes beyond business performance, suggesting that boxing is closely tied to Mayweather's personal identity and that the attention and spotlight of major events remain difficult for him to step away from.
Mayweather with his popularity, Floyd Mayweather with his knowledge of business, boxing business, he's made the mistakes. He's had to fight for everything that he's gotten, and he's built himself into a mega superstar, and he knows the ins and outs of the sport. I feel like if Mayweather Promotions was ran the way it was supposed to be run, Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, should be running the sport of boxing. He should be the premier promoter in the sport. What promoter can stand up to Floyd Mayweather if his promotional company comes after you? But for whatever reason, Floyd Mayweather Promotions has not dominated the game. They sign a lot of guys, and then for whatever reason, those guys get released or there's an issue and they move on. I don't understand that, but my heart for Floyd would be to do just that. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, which we see him doing a lot. Living off your investments, which we hear him talk a lot about, and running the game as the premier promoter.
Andre Ward also spoke respectfully about the legacy of Floyd Mayweather Jr., both in the ring and beyond it. He pointed out that a lot of the criticism tends to ignore how successfully Mayweather built his personal brand and maximized his earnings throughout his career. Ward explained that Mayweather intentionally shaped his money persona, using his lifestyle, confidence, and independence as part of a global marketing strategy that kept him in constant demand. While he admitted that Floyd's public image often divides opinion, Ward pushed back against any suggestions that Mayweather mismanaged his finances, instead highlighting his strategic approach to promotion, branding, and self-marketing.
Responsible for y'all getting media credentialed at these big fights and getting these free lunches and being a part of a big event. But for years, I've heard people only talk about what Floyd Mayweather wasn't to them, what he did not do. How, even though this was a great event and it's generated tens of millions and in many cases, hundreds of millions, he should have stopped him. He was boring. He was this. I've always supported and pushed back on that narrative of Floyd Mayweather. Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of reputation wasn't just the boxing. It was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like, I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks.
Jake Paul also shared his thoughts on the ongoing talks surrounding a possible rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, taking a critical stance on the situation. He described the whole build-up as unnecessary and overly theatrical, arguing that the mixed messaging around contracts and promotions damages boxing's credibility. Paul further suggested that the sport too often recycles familiar names and storylines instead of prioritizing new and exciting matchups that fans actually want to see. In his view, the hype around a potential rematch appears more like a financially motivated storyline than a clear competitive plan, making the situation feel disorganized and exaggerated.
People in the sport who aren't professional and it makes us all look bad. It's terrible, and it's so archaic and old, and there's so many egos. People think that they're bigger or better than they are multiple times. They have terrible teams around them that's like their homie from, back in the day running for them. And because of that, these types of deals don't get done, and it all comes down to ring size, and you can't wear these shoes and this type of glove, and you can't wear this glove. It's like, bro, stop being a fight. That's the problem with the sport, and that's probably what they're running into, a lack of.
Adding to the ongoing rumors, some reports have claimed that Manny Pacquiao may have taken control of a boxing gym in Los Angeles previously associated with Floyd Mayweather Jr. The claim has triggered strong debate across social media, with opinions sharply divided. Some interpret the development as a possible indication of financial strain, while others view it as nothing more than a routine business transaction. Many also note that elite athletes often buy, sell, and restructure property assets as part of long-term investment strategies. Critics, however, believe situations like this tend to fuel narratives suggesting overspending or financial instability, even when clear evidence is not present.
This is major news. Manny Pacquiao now has a home gym in LA. Pacquiao Prime Boxing Limitless. The truth is, I came today to Hollywood to check out Chuck Norris' star. It's the second time in LA. Last week I looked for it, I couldn't find it. I came back today, was able to find it. It was not easy to find. And I came to pay respect. Chuck Norris, an icon, the legend, passed away. I'm happy to see people didn't forget him. They leave flowers and pictures and things for him. And I'll get into that second half of this video. But as I'm coming back to my car, I look up and I see this sign. And I caught up with one of the residents, a lady that lives nearby, and she told me this used to be Mayweather Fitness. Check it out. Manny Pacquiao wins the first round heading in to
by Mike Tyson, an exhibition match. And then after that, they're saying August, he's supposed to be fighting Manny Pacquiao at the age of 49 after retiring almost 10 years ago. He's putting his 50-0 record on the line, and this is that's his thing, 50-0.
I will say this. Me and Floyd, we very close. I've left the strip club at 3 o'clock in the morning, where Floyd went to in a Rolls Royce. But he comes out the strip club in sweats and running shoes and jogs home 9-10 miles. 2-3 o'clock in the morning, they've been up all day. His mind, his body is still conditioned for who he is. His technique has not been.
What's your take on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s current financial situation?